The Vikings of Norway are impressive for their major contributions to multiple fields, including but not limited to naval tradition, political science, and of course, warfare. In the modern era, Vikings are depicted in media as seafaring warriors out to slaughter those who oppose them with savagery and fervor. But beyond this shallow and violent facade, what secrets do the ancient traditions of the Northmen hide? What was their leadership like? How do they live from day to day? Today on Scrub History, let us delve deep into the mysteries of ancient Norway under the rule of Harald Hardrada. The first steps of the Norse civilization began, not with boats, nor with axes, but with the humble cow. Sagas dated to 4000 BC tells the tale of a Northman who spent ages trying to glean some form of wisdom from these strange animals. The nature of this wisdom remains a mystery, even to the most studious of historians.
The cows.
The cows are already in my territory.
You can build on the cows, and your continent is called Mu.
Wait, what?
Yes, your continent is actually called Mu. You live in the continent of Mu.
With the founding of the capital city of Zootopia, blessed with the bounties of the sea and the land, and graced by the presence of the Giant's Causeway, the Northmen began their conquest of the seas.
Someone met you first?
Time to make a Viking longship. It's actually funny. The Giant's Causeway is blocking the waterways here.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm not
If only I
sure
could
if I
see
can
it.
actually go through this, or do I have to
Right.
encircle this island?
These Viking expeditions to the west has borne the Norse Empire much fruit.
I have found bananas.
Bananas.
The Norse civilization will rule the world through the power of bananas.
Through bananas.
Many sources agree that it was at this approximate time that Harald Hardrada would make his first and staunchest ally, Theodore Roosevelt of the United States of America. Although they were separated by entire oceans and continents, they were capable of nigh instantaneous communication through means that none of the greatest minds of today are able to discern.
Old. Yeah, I guess. yeah, I guess.
Well, I just got alerted that a tribal village has been found on the very opposite end of the world.
Yes.
And the
Thank you,
internet
me.
is amazing. We don't know what cows are, but we can communicate across the world.
Truly, globalization is amazing. The power of globalization.
This alliance has weathered the ravages of time with surprising endurance. But its very first test was about to occur. It was at this time that the green fields of grass that the cows called home was coated in blood. The Northmen have turned their gaze to the endless expanse of blue that was the ocean. But there were those who lived inland, barbaric peoples who looked at the turned backs of the Northmen and struck with dishonorable impunity. At 2720 BC, the completely unprovoked attack by the city-state of Mitla caught the Northmen by surprise. I start beating the crap out of this city-state.
Yes. The answer is always yes.
I kind of want to declare war right now.
Do it.
Whatever. Let's do
Do it. Do it.
720 BC.
At 2720 BC,
The Norse
The
have declared
war
war on the city-state of Mitla.
With their budding military focused on shipbuilding and naval expansion, and the city of Mitla located far inland, the Norse people found themselves outnumbered and outmatched.
I have one warrior and that's it.
Oh,
If only Mitla was a coastal city, I could have used
your long ship.
my long ships to fight
Your
it.
long ship.
I'm gonna start fighting these warriors with a scout. I'm just gonna run away now. 300 years later, the Norse is still at war with Mitla.
As the conflict between the Empire of Norway and the city-state of Mitla reached its 300th year, far to the east, Norway's steadfast ally America has found a burgeoning civilization. With no hesitation, Harald Hardrada and Teddy Roosevelt offered their hands in peace.
Hmm. Oh, I think I found one of our competition.
Do we declare
Aztec.
war?
We do it. I mean, I'm not saying we can't. These Aztecs kick me out. Fine, fine then. Fine.
They've watched the movie the Road to El Dorado. They know what your Americans are gonna do.
It was a futile endeavor, as Montezuma of the Aztec Empire had nothing for the Allies but unprovoked vitriol and scorn.
You,
You must be jealous I have elephants. That's probably it.
I don't know what you just said, Mr. Montezuma, sir, but I don't appreciate your tone.
Montezuma sent me a warning. But why?
What did he say?
You have much that I do not. Do you want to see your people taken as slaves? No?
The discovery of a belligerent neighbor was a major concern for the Americans. This, and the turmoil that plagued their Norse allies, was the impetus for the formation of what is now known as the American frontier.
Freedomopia.
Ow. Pain. Pain.
You can always settle on the desert where there's absolutely nothing.
Oh, I will settle on the desert. That is what I'm doing.
The Wild
The,
West
the Wild West.
with elephants.
Wales.
Fort Freedom.
Port Freedom.
Not long after all this was the discovery of the Spartan Empire. Undeterred by the failure of previous diplomatic attempts, Norway and America once more offered peaceful relations, an offer that the Spartans vehemently refused.
Why is the Greeks angry at me when I haven't even met them?
Oh, oh, that's weird.
Spontaneous anger.
Who? Gorgo? Oh, sure, nice to meet you. Yeah, show me your capital. They're a bit too close. I don't like it.
You can always declare war.
You know? Compelling argument. I will do it.
These events only served to make the bonds between the allied nations stronger than before.
Don't worry, the Viking Navy will cross the entire ocean just to help you.
Just for me?
They'll
Thank
arrive.
you.
They'll arrive at your coastlines around half a millennium later.
We'll be waiting.
There,
Oh?
there'll be 10 generations of Vikings born on those ships.
I'm not sure how, but okay. Hey, Viking longships, we can actually meet each other. Port Freedom is beside your Viking longship.
I'm gonna
Port
dock
Freedom.
on your ports. No, that's not an innuendo.
Back to the Vikings, the war with Mitla has slowed to a crawl.
Yeah, you only declared war 700 years ago. It's fine.
It feels like it's
Again.
been so long.
Oh yeah, port freedom. Ah, yes. Port
Time
freedom.
to resume hostilities, Mitla. We have spent the past 200 years staring at each other across an open plains.
In 1680 BC, the Vikings finally managed to push back Mitla's army back to their walls. It looked to be a triumph for Harald Hadrada and his people.
I mean, unless they're a literal desert. Why does Mitla have an archer?
But the walls of Mitla proved to be too strong for the Vikings to conquer.
I'm actually not sure how I'm actually gonna beat Mitla now.
It has 25 defense. Yeah, yeah, barbarian, you better run.
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be taking Mitla anytime soon. Well, Mitla, I guess we're just gonna stay here.
Next time on Scrub History, we'll discuss the progression of the war against Mitla and the global tension that might have led to Norway's undeserved reputation as a warmongering empire.
And to start another war.
I mean, I think I'm at the war with 5 people already.
Stop.
How do I
Stop.
find my diplomacy?
Stop the violence.
Until next time, this has been Brain. Thank you for listening.